Hi friends, my name is Madison and welcome back to Seeking Life, a channel discovering a life worth living. Today we're back at the park. Not entirely sure what we're going to talk about, so just going to go ahead and start walking and try to avoid the lawnmowers so we're not, being disrupted by that kind of noise. I'll see you when I get by the lake. I long to be as free as the birds. Right now I'm just going to give you kind of some nature shots while I allow the universe to channel whatever it needs to tell me I need to speak about today. You know what? I know what to talk about. So, I've been seeing a lot of posts online and a lot of chatter of people who are talking about wanting to go back to an analog type of lifestyle. And by that, I mean people want to leave the digital age behind and go back to like cassette tapes and VHS tapes and DVDs and Blu-rays and like N64 games and PlayStation 1 and 2 games and before the internet ruined everything. Hi again, my crow friends. So, hi beautiful. It's nice to see you again. So yeah, there's a lot of people who want to move away from the old way of living and be back into an analog world. I even saw that there's a new simulator game. Oh my gosh. It just came out of nowhere. It's almost always windy here, but there's even a video game that's like a simulator type game I just saw that's coming out where you run a video rental store and you have to build up your clients and build up your business and stuff like that. I've seen lots of posts about people who are super nostalgic for Blockbuster and those types of experiences, and I've been in the theme park space for a while. I watch a lot of theme park content, and I've noticed people absolutely abhor the screens used on rides nowadays. They'd rather have the physical sets with the animatronics and lack of screens. If you're going to use a screen, they'd rather it be as like a background effect. You've got all kinds of physical elements in the front, and then you have your screen depicting something like, say, fireworks in the Secret Life of Pets. Like, that ride is almost a perfect blend of screens and physical sets. But people are yearning for this more and more every single day. When I was growing up, McDonald's actually had, the colorful buildings. They had the play places in them. They had, characters like Ronald and the Hamburglar and Grimace and stuff. They would have those statues around. They made it really like a fun experience for children, but then also the McDonald's were oftentimes themed. I know that the one on Disney World property was themed really, really well. The one on International Drive in Orlando, it's still themed pretty well, mainly because it's probably the largest one, and they have the different menu and the arcade and all that stuff because it's a tourist spot. But the one where I used to live actually was themed to motorcycles and like American made muscle. So they actually had like 3 motorcycles on the inside, and they, it was just a different experience. I want to show you all something I haven't seen before yet. So that's the landfill, which this mountain once upon a time was a landfill, but today you can actually see the garbage exposed before they cover it. That's pretty neat in a way. I hit my wheel wrong. There we go. Oh, there's somebody behind me. So, it was the same way, even like Burger King, and they had play places and they were more well themed. Wendy's had the sunrooms, and we had like an explosion of themed experiences like in the late 80s, throughout the 90s, and it died like around the early 2000s. So, I'm talking about things like Hard Rock Cafe, Planet Hollywood. I know a couple of those, Hard Rock's still around. There's a few Planet Hollywood left. But everywhere you went, every major city, they would have themed experiences. They'd have things like that. And now all we really see is bland, gray, nasty, corporate, homogenized, boring stuff. It's all the same building. All the vehicles have lost their color. I mean, there's still a few nicely colored vehicles out there, but for the most part, they are like white, black, or silver, or I hope what I'm doing with my microphone is helping and not hurting. I just now realized there's actually a path to get to the singular palm tree in the middle that I noticed the other day. So down there they're refurbing the soccer fields, football fields, whatever you want to call it. That there's downtown West Palm Beach. I had no idea there was high rises either. So yeah, most vehicles today are boring colors. And not so much in the 90s or whatever. The colors in the vehicles were dying already. But when it comes to like the 60s, the 50s, every car was like the most beautiful color you can imagine. It was very, very rare that they use white on a car, or that they would use black on a car. So that's just another thing that they took away from us. And then somewhere in the last 20 years, we have lost like fashion. Like somewhere along the way, somebody was like, yeah, we don't need to update fashion anymore. Fashion's good. We're gonna leave it right where it's at. All the clothes are gonna look the same. At least, you know, stuff you can buy in normal clothing stores. Everything looks the same as like 10 years ago. I would say, you know, 20 years ago in 2006, but there's not really a whole lot of hot topic or scene or emo going around right now that I'm aware of. If you know anything about the scene or emo style coming back, let me know in the comments down below. Because I do kind of live in a bubble, but I don't pay attention to things like that, like trends and whatnot. That's not for me. But phew, I'm grateful for the breeze today. But yeah, it's kind of like, okay, so we're losing all of these colors, we're losing all of these themed places, we're losing everything and making them homogenous and bland and very vanilla and very, very just, you know, like boring. And there's gotta be a reason behind it. I have my theories. You know, if you see any kind of footage out of North Korea, there's a very, very, very large lack of color there. Same thing if you go through and you look at historical videos of the USSR. There was a very intentional lack of color there. So, what do those two things have in common? They're both run by dictators, and they're both run by socialists. And I'm not trying to be doom and gloom here. I'm just, you know, sharing what I have noticed and what I have observed. And it seems like somewhere along the way, with all of the regulations and all of the you know, red tape that people need to walk through and hoops to jump through and everything else, that's probably why everything's so boring and bland. You know, whoever's been creating these new regulations, they must be socialist or communist or something, because I know when our country was, you know, even before the year 2000, our country was full of color, and there was no red tape back then. You could do pretty much anything you wanted to do. And now you can't do that. So now you've got all your people who are voting against the American people showing their true color, showing their true allegiances. I'm wondering, just putting two and two together here, is it those people in Congress who hate America so much? Are they the ones pushing for these regulations that's making it already look like we're living in communism, even though we're still technically a free country? I don't know. Like I said, I'm just kind of putting pieces together here and not making any conclusions. I'm not making any accusations. I'm just questioning things here, you know, as I have a right to do. You know, so I do actually believe that because we've had these changes, we've had these homogenous changes, we've had all this and these negative changes that it has forced Gen X, or not Gen X, the millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. It's caused all of us to want to be outside more. It wants us to go out and ride our bikes and to play outside and just spend more time outside, away from video games, away from the television, away from all of the brainwashing and propaganda. So, in a way, I think it was a good thing we've had this happen, because if not, if it would have gone more slowly and we would have been we would have gladly accepted what they had planned for us, which would have been digital prisons where we all basically lived in VR glasses, and that was the only way we were able to see the outside world, is through our VR goggles, and we'd be, stacked on top of each other in trailers, living in living in filth and squalor, and essentially the movie Ready Player One comes to mind. That's pretty much where I believe we would be if things would have gone a different way. Because as I see it, people are rejecting the virtual world. I saw yesterday where the Meta place where you can go and be a community and meet with other people and do stuff in a virtual world, similar to what PlayStation Home was on PS3, that was shut down yesterday. So people do not want the metaverse. People want the real world. They want to have experiences. They want to go out and play video games, or not play video games. They want to go out to theme parks or to an actual park like this. Now that it's getting warmer out, I see so many people out here. Granted, I'm here during the weekday and during when people should be at school, or work, but I am out here and there's still quite a bit of people out here. Look at all those people over there. So, people want to be outside. People want to socialize. People are tired of living life on Zoom. And, there's some of us out here that have never stopped living our lives, that have still been out here and still going about our day. For example, when the whole world shut down in 2020, I went all over the place. I was all up and down the coast, from Florida to Washington, D.C. Even though it's not called that anymore, but that's the only way most people will know what I'm talking about. I went all over the place. So, and then I went all over the place the following year. So, I made the most of it, and I went out and I enjoyed my life. And you know what? You can do that too. You can just go out to your local park. I'm sure you have one. If you're in the West Palm Beach area, there's plenty. There's tons of them everywhere. And just go out and enjoy the sunshine, the fresh air, the cool breeze on your face if you have one. And just come out and start interacting with the world again, and start trying to be the person, or living the world you want to live in. Starts with you. And I've had an idea for 3 years now. I've seen that people want the return to physical media and to physical things in their life. I've seen that coming, and I want to create a store. I'm not giving it all away because, but I just don't have the investments. So if I had the investments, I would have started it already, and people would have a place to go to. But in most places, rent is just too damn high. You can't even really charge, or you can't even really rent a building out to be able to start a business right now. It's just like we're at a point where it feels like we're darned if we do, we're darned if we don't. And I don't even really know how to move more forward if, with the increasing costs of everything. I know at some point they will go back down. They will go down like a rock. And it's going to be glorious. And then at some point, we're going to help rebuild. And we are going to build what we want to see in this world. I have so many wonderful ideas. It just would cost me probably $1 billion, maybe $2 billion in the money right now. Well, in money right now with inflation, maybe $5 billion. Guess I'm going to do another lap. So, I have such grand ideas for when the world changes overnight, and I want to help create gathering places for families to go that are safe, and they don't have to be concerned with someone taking their children or harming them or their children, where people don't have to worry about anything. They just come and they have a good time. They come and they enjoy themselves, and they have a good family time, and they want to keep coming back and keep coming back, because our customer service will be unmatched. Like, if people learned customer service from me, we would have the most proficient customer service team available. And anyone who cannot provide customer service properly would not be on the team. And it all starts with having a positive attitude. But back to what I was saying. People want to have life like it used to be. People see the writing on the wall like I have for a long time now. I grew up in what was known as one of the most richest counties in America. I wasn't rich, but there was just a lot of millionaires living there, and we had money, and my family did, and we would do fun stuff. But I knew shortly after I left home and I came back and I was looking at house prices, I realized there's no way in heck I can afford to live here. They have priced me out. And that was back in 2005 or 6. I realized when I got back home from the military, holy cow, they priced me out so badly, I can't even afford to have a place where I am from. I can't even afford to have a place where my family lives. I can't be anywhere near my family because these jerks priced me out of it. And it's a million times worse today, and it's full of illegal immigrants. So it used to be a sundown town. It used to be, one of the most racist counties in America too. And then we started accepting everyone, and it's been flooded by people who are not from America. And that's pretty much the whole county now. So I guess I dodged a bullet there. But I'm not trying to say this in a bad way, and I'm not trying to lose followers. I'm just, again, stating what I have noticed. It's just observations. It's not me saying one way or another. I'm not for or against when it comes to these videos. I don't want any political stuff on this channel. I'm just kind of talking about me seeing the writing on the wall quite a while ago. So when we had the great financial crash, sure, they were selling homes for about $100,000. I probably could have gotten one, but unfortunately, I didn't have credit or anything like that to be able to do so. So, still, I was kind of screwed out of it. So, I apologize if you hear that noise in the background. They're doing landscaping, which I'm really grateful for. They do a lot of landscaping here, and they take really, really good care of the park. So I couldn't be happier with the Dyer Parks team. They do a heck of a job. So back then I was like, you know what? There's no way I can afford a home where I live, and you know what? Now I can't even afford to rent even a room where I used to live. It's just gotten that bad in the last decade and a half. And it's all by design. It was all designed so that eventually private equity could purchase up literally all of the land, all of the homes, and then rent them to us at astronomical prices. Most of us would be homeless, and there'd just be homes sitting there vacant that no one can afford. But thankfully, we're not on that timeline anymore. We are on a new timeline. I don't know what that is. Could be a dragonfly, not sure. But we are on a completely different timeline now. Those things are huge though, whatever they are. I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. But we are on a much more positive timeline now, where we are going to have a resurgence in home ownership. We are going to have a resurgence in the ability to even just afford to buy them, because the prices will come way down. Sorry, boomers, that means that unfortunately your house you bought for $20,000 that's now worth $1 million might be worth $100,000, but that's okay. At least your children and your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, at least then they can afford a home, and they can afford the same life that you had. It's all about making life more fair for everyone again, and making it so everyone is on an equal playing field. And there will be those of us who want to create a better world, who want to create, new fun and entertainment venues for families. There will be people who want to make new restaurants, people who are coming up with ideas that I don't even currently have the ability to imagine. But what I do know is that people are getting out of their shells, and they want a physical world. They want the world that millennials grew up in, that Gen X and beyond grew up in. They want a world free, away from control. They want a free, back when I grew up, there was no cell phones. If you wanted to take pictures, you needed you either had a Polaroid, a little bit more fancy of a camera, or you had a disposable camera. And with all options except for the Polaroid, if you were lucky enough to have one, you had to take those photos to be developed somewhere. For example, you had to go to a Walgreens or a CVS or a Walmart or a Kmart or a Target to have your photos developed, which meant somebody else was going to see your pictures. But at the same time, it also meant that people didn't always have a camera on them. Most of the time you had a camera on you, it was because you were at a special event or you were on vacation. You know, the last time I really remember using one was on a church camp trip that we took to Panama City back in like the very early 2000s, before I graduated high school. So like, you had to go out of your way to have a camera to be able to capture what anyone was doing, or to be able to capture you know, people doing stupid stuff. So you had to you could get away with a lot of things, and I'm not saying that in, like, in a bad way. I mean, you could be stupid and no one would have it on video. But like, there was a time I got really, really drunk and I ate some marshmallows that were spray painted because I was dared to. And you know what? Only I have that memory. Only I have the memory of that. Because, well, maybe they do, the people that were there, but there was no cameras there. So no one has video of me doing something so stupid. No one has pictures of me doing something so stupid. So, how's it going? So, it was a much more simpler time. Even just 20 years ago. I made a video the other day. I blame a lot of our problems now on the smartphone. And I'm definitely 100% still in agreement with that. Life was better before Steve Jobs invented the iPhone. And truly, I think the iPhone was the downfall of humanity. I mean, in the Bible it talks about the Garden of Eden falling apart when they ate from the apple of the tree of knowledge. And what does Apple's logo look like? A bitten apple. And a lot of us carry it, a lot of us use it every day, and it was supposed to be the device of knowledge, the smart phone, smart. But yet, here it was, it has made everyone so dumb. And I'm not judging, because it did the same to me for a while. And, you know, now you've got people who are just doom scrolling forever because the apps don't ever stop anymore. I remember a time when it would tell you, oh, your feed's all caught up. Nothing more to see here. You'd refresh it and there'd maybe be one post, maybe nothing. So now it just goes on and on forever and just keeps your attention span locked in. And, you know, the algorithm shows you what you click more of. If you click more doom and gloom, guess what? You're going to get more doom and gloom. But if you click on positivity, you're going to get more positivity. So, really, it's up to you to decide what it is you want to engage with. Are you wanting to engage with doom and gloom, or are you wanting to engage with positivity? So, really, it's just up to you. And I don't know why I went off on that tangent, but if you are missing what we had circa 2005 and earlier, well, give it maybe 10 years and we will have something very similar to that again, if not sooner. Because, like I said, I know that y'all are out there craving things like this. Y'all want Blockbuster to come back. Y'all want to see Six Flags and Disney and Universal be better. You want to see all these companies get back to what we used to have and what we used to be. And we want to see the color come back. I want to see, like, almost every vehicle you see have like a beautiful color to it. Like, for example, in this parking lot in front of me, there's a couple blue and one red, and the rest are all bland, boring colors. I want to see vehicles with, bright red and like fire engine red and fire like canary yellow and lime green and super duper purple. Like I want to see all of these colors come back, and I want to see buildings with color again. I want to see the world with color again. I don't want to keep living in this quasi-communist state of color disappearing everywhere I look. It's depressing. So, yeah. So this video has gone way longer than I expected for it to do. I'm going to pause it, finish my walk, and I'll end it over here by the water. I think this is a sandhill crane. If so, it's the first one I've seen. Just walking around trying to fish. But anyways, if you also feel like you want to return to physical media, if you want to be purchasing DVDs, if you want to be purchasing cassettes, records, if you want to be like a hipster, even though it's basically everyone now, if you want to go buy anything, just go do it. Support the physical media, because the more we support the physical media, the more we support bright colors, the more we decide to say, no, I don't want these ideals of lack of color. I don't want these ideals of socialism and communism and control, and I want freedom. I want to go live my life. I want to stop being owned by a corporation. I want to tell the corporations to go shove it. Like, I've also come to the observation that it seems to me like the president has done everything he can to get prices to come down, and what everyone's telling him is that it's working, but what's not working is the corporations. The corporations are so daggum greedy that they are just keep increasing the prices. They keep making it more and more difficult for us to live, and making the president look bad when he's doing what he can to make everything better for us, make things more affordable for us, and he's making America great again, which I am really, really happy about. Again, I'm not saying I support him. I'm not saying I support anybody. I'm just saying I appreciate what he's doing, what I'm seeing him do. So, in my lifetime, he's the first president who's ever done anything for the people. So, I don't care who it is, as long as they're willing to do what's right for the people, then I am happy. And, I didn't even vote in the last election, so am I even a supporter of his? You tell me. So, I just want to see us be a civilized country again, where there was a time when we had a very high trust. We could just go and, we can have, for example, this park could have a box, like a I don't know, like a shelf with a door on it with some canned goods in it, and people in need could come get them. But unfortunately, we're in such a low trust society now that if you tried to do that, people who don't need it would just take it thinking it's free for them. So, but we used to live in a society where you could do things like that. I remember when we could just leave the doors open to our cars. We didn't lock them. We didn't lock our homes because we knew our neighbors weren't going to steal from us. And if somebody was going to come to try to steal from us and we weren't home, our neighbors would stop them. You know, because back then people were outside more and people were enjoying themselves more. And back then, our parents even were telling us, hey, the TV's rotting your mind. Stop watching television. It'll make you brain dead. And how you doing? And we had them telling us the same thing about the smartphones. But guess what? They're the ones who are completely and utterly glued to their televisions now. And they're glued to their smartphones if they know how to work them. So, boomers, please, I have a question. What changed your mind? Let me know in the comments down below. I don't care how controversial this is. Tell me in the comments below, why did you guys tell us when we were children that TV would brainwash us and that it would rot our minds out from the inside? Same thing with these darn smartphones, right? Yes, I have to use one for my advantage right now because that's how I film. But let me know when you guys just started allowing the darn television and smartphones to rule your lives. Oh, there's my ducky friends. I was just thinking about them. Please let me know, when did you guys start thinking that the television was okay to watch 24/7? When did you start thinking scrolling on a smartphone and thinking everything you see is true? When? Like, please let me know down below. When did y'all start thinking this way? When did y'all start becoming slaves to the television? Because I remember when I was told, stop watching TV, it's going to rot your mind. So you know what, boomers? Stop watching TV, it's rotting your minds. Stop scrolling the phones, it's rotting your minds. I'm being serious, stop. Turn them off. Go for a walk if you can. Go get some sun on your skin. Go outside. What's on the television, most of what's on your phone, especially if it's for you, it's not real. It's fake. And I'm being serious. Just like WWE, professional wrestling, which I know is fake, but I enjoy the fakeness of it. I enjoy how it all comes together. It's the same thing. It's called sports entertainment. It's the same thing with the NFL. It's sports entertainment. It has a determined outcome. Same thing with the news. The news is a scripted channel. They script it in such of a way that it will get your attention and it will get you to keep watching them. It'll make their ratings stay high because you keep watching, believing that what they are saying is true, when it's all BS, made up crap to get you to tune in for ratings. That's all the news is. It's entertainment. It's not real. They stopped telling the real truth like 15 years ago. Now it's just scripted bullshit. So please, I'm talking to you boomers, stop watching the TV. Stop believing the TV. Stop believing everything you see online. Unless you've found sources that you know are accurate, stop. I'm begging you. I was just thinking about how I didn't see my ducky friends today. Here they are. I know we're kind of just getting the backsides, but there's a lot of children here, so I'm trying to be careful. Bye, duckies. I love you. Alrighty. So if you've made it this far, I truly, truly appreciate you. I know it's a really long-winded video. Again, I just let the universe talk about whatever needs to be talked about through me to you. as soon as possible, we will be traveling. Right now, it looks like somewhere between April 1st and 3rd, I should be getting out of here. It really just depends on when I'm able to get my tires installed. And then the goal is to be home in the suburbs of Atlanta for Easter, to be with my family. And from there, I'm not really sure. I do need to clear some stuff up where I was living before, get rid of it, sell it, whatever. So, especially since I'm not sure where I'm going to be staying when I'm in Georgia. So, I'm just going to do what I can. And if it's time to leave, then it's time to leave. But I do want to talk specifically to you. I know I've already spoken to the boomers, but I want to talk to everybody. You matter. You absolutely matter in this world. No matter what you think, no matter what anyone's told you, you matter. You deserve to have whatever you want in this life, as long as it's for your greater good and for the greater good of other people. You deserve to have the life of your dreams. You are worthy of anything that you desire. You are worthy of having the best life. You are worthy of having friends or people in your life who care about you. And you know what? I care about you. I love you, and I am proud of you for no matter what it is you have done today. And even if that's just getting yourself out of bed, I am extremely proud of you. And no matter what, you can keep going. And no matter what, you can also live the life you've been dreaming of. You just have to make the decision to go for it. I made the decision to go for it. And I've been out here enjoying myself every single day, getting the sun on my skin every single day, getting the breeze in my hair every single day. You know, it's only March and I'm already tan. It's wonderful. So you just need to make the decision and go for it. Whatever it happens to be that you want, you can have. And I believe in you. I believe that you can get it done. I believe that you're going to do it. And I just want to say, again, I love you. Thank you for being here. If you made it this far, drop a bird emoji in the background and a like if you'd like to. And I don't know, pandering here, but I would love a subscription because I'm trying to get monetized at some point this year. So that would be really helpful. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.